Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Wednesday, March 11th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Stehekin Valley is once again at risk for flooding as it braces for more rain and snowmelt this week. More on that coming up in weather. The former Moses Lake physician accused of wounding a U.S. Marshal in a Florida shootout has now been formally charged. A high wind warning is in effect here at home with heavy snow falling over mountain passes. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. Claim forms have begun appearing in mailboxes around the Wenatchee Valley for people affected by a 2021 cyber attack on the Chelan-Douglas Health District. About 188,000 clients of the Public Health Agency had their personal data exposed by the intrusion, and a class action lawsuit secured a $1.3 million settlement for their troubles. The stolen data included Social Security numbers, birth dates, financial account numbers, and private health information. Those eligible for a share of the fund should receive a postcard notice with instructions on how to collect. They can also apply online at cdhdatasettlement.com or by using the QR code you see on your screen. Those affected stand to claim up to $599 each, plus up to $5,000 if they can prove they suffered financial losses from the data breach. The Stehekin Valley is once again at risk for flooding as it braces for more rain and snowmelt this week. The National Weather Service issued a flood warning for the remote Chelan County village on Tuesday night, and it will remain in place through Saturday evening. Stehekin is still feeling the effects from the December flooding and windstorm, which damaged a levee and put residential properties along Company Creek Road at risk. The National Weather Service said yesterday that Company Creek Road was beginning to flood at the northern end, and Battalion Creek culverts were beginning to be overtopped. The National Weather Service is warning of 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of additional rainfall through Saturday, and says rain and winds will lead to rapid snowmelt tonight into Thursday afternoon. The Wenatchee metro area is currently paying an average of $4.57 per gallon for regular gasoline, while the average diesel gallon price is $5.73. Those are higher averages than those in the Yakima and Spokane areas, according to AAA data. General Manager Elizabeth Herrera of Grant Road Fuel and Food Deli in East Wenatchee says a delivery of 11,200 gallons of gasoline and diesel costs $50,000. Her fuel suppliers are raising their prices by 8 cents a gallon per delivery, which has forced her to raise prices by more than 60 cents since February 28th, the day the U.S. bombed Iran. At the pump, customer Carl Klinger says he's taking the price shifts as they come.
It's crazy now. It varies. I mean, I try to go where it's the cheapest. We have to deal with the situation at hand. I like to just keep my car filled up. I don't go empty and then fill it up. I like to see $20. I pay $20.
3 Wenatchee Valley 5th graders got a big surprise today as the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival announced its 2026 Junior Royalty Court at Mission View Elementary. Queen Elena Gomez Alvarez of Mission View will reign alongside Princess Aurora Castillo of Grace Academy and Princess Penny Ouellette of Rock Island Elementary. The trio was elected from among 65 students who wrote essays across the Wenatchee and Eastmont school districts. Elena, Aurora, and Penny will take part in several Apple Blossom events in the weeks ahead, including the Youth Parade on April 25th and the Stehekin Grand Parade on May 2nd. They'll also represent the festival at community events like Kashmir Founders Day and the Autumn Leaf Festival in Leavenworth. When we come back, Douglas County is making updates to its disaster planning, and Chelan Fire and Rescue is celebrating 100 years with a chili cook-off and parade coming up in April. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Stehekin Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
The Moses Lake National RV Show starts this Friday, March 13th to the 22nd at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Shop hundreds of RVs. Receive huge discounts. Exclusive show-only pricing. Prices this low will only be available at the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Manufacturer reps are on-site stacking additional savings. No payments for 120 days on approved credit. Free admission. Free parking. Plus, shop like a VIP and receive an additional $1,000 off. Learn more at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
Douglas County is making updates to its disaster planning. The county's multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan identifies who and what is most vulnerable in the county and lists actions to reduce further damage. It's updated at least every 5 years as required by FEMA, and the public input gathered directly informs priorities. This spring, the process will include city workshops and an informational webinar, and then a public comment period will open this summer. Participants will include residents of East Wenatchee, Bridgeport, Rock Island, Waterville, Mansfield, and Cooley Dam. The plan is expected to be adopted by October. The former Moses Lake physician accused of wounding a U.S. Marshal in a Florida shootout has now been formally charged. 72-year-old Thomas Earl Steffens was a Grant County doctor for years before relocating to Colorado. Last week, he was sought on a warrant for allegedly drugging and sexually assaulting a woman in Grand Junction, Colorado, when a Marshal's fugitive team learned that he was traveling to Vero Beach, Florida. During a traffic stop on March 3rd, Steffens allegedly opened fire and wounded a member of the Marshal's team in the leg before being shot and wounded himself. Court records in Indian River County now show Steffens was charged Tuesday with 6 counts of attempted first-degree murder of a police officer plus resisting arrest. That's in addition to the Colorado charge. He was booked into jail in Vero Beach on Saturday after treatment in a local hospital. Steffens is due to be arraigned in Florida court 1 month from now. Chelan Fire and Rescue is celebrating 100 years. The fire district was founded in 1926 and covers 125 square miles in northeast Chelan County, providing emergency medical services, fire suppression, wildland firefighting, and more. All crew members, past and present, are invited to celebrate the major milestone on April 18th. The day will kick off with a grand parade in downtown Chelan, a chili cook-off at the Chelan Fire Station, and an end-of-the-day celebration at Vin de Lac Winery. Former crew members of the district are encouraged to join in the parade or ride in a fire truck, no matter how much time they serve. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will tell you about the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society's new Trap Neuter Return program for feral cats in East Wenatchee. Along with rain here at home through the rest of the week, a high wind warning is also now in effect through Thursday morning. I'll have your local weather details coming up, along with Dan Kuntz with a look at area sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
It used to be that feral cats were quickly euthanized if they posed a nuisance in local communities. But today, the method for dealing with them is called trap, neuter, return, or TNR, and it involves catching and sterilizing homeless community cats and then releasing them back on their home territory. East Wenatchee has discovered colonies of such cats, and now it's partnered with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society to pay for an estimated 100 TNR procedures. Mayor Geraldine Crawford and Humane Society Director B.J. Anderson announced the project on Tuesday. In tonight's feature story, we spoke with Anderson and her feline friend Spicy, who happens to be a graduate of the trap, neuter, return process.
It's a really exciting program. Geraldine and I are very excited about the collaboration we have to engage the community in solving the problem. So we're providing funds and a clinic. The city of East Wenatchee is providing funds, and community members in East Wenatchee are doing the trapping and transporting. So, and then the surgery is free. So, as a member, as a resident or a non-resident of East Wenatchee, as long as the cats are residents of East Wenatchee, the surgery is provided free. So then the resident or the person who wants to help those cats would reach out to us here. Ryan Boner is our community programs coordinator, and he provides information on how to rent the trap. It's a free rental, but it's a rental. He explains how to use the trap, how to get the cat in the trap on schedule, and he helps make the appointment with the vet clinic, gives information about how to manage the cats, how to feed them on a schedule so they show up on time, and they don't, and lots of other good advice. So anybody who comes across unowned cats and wants to help them out, especially in East Wenatchee, we've got a lot of resources to help you out. Community cats are just kind of a conundrum all the way around. They exist everywhere people are, because cats are everywhere people are, and they are often loosely owned or unowned, and there's no laws that govern unowned cats. So it's sort of a problem that's nobody's and everybody's. And when they're not altered, they reproduce at alarming rates, and also suffer from very high mortality. They also create a lot of they can create a lot of conflict in the neighborhood between people who want to feed them all the time and care for them, and people who would prefer they not be in their yards or spraying or howling at night or creating other kinds of nuisance behaviors. Most of those nuisance behaviors go away when the cats are altered, because most of those behaviors are related to getting a date. I jokingly refer to it as alien abduction for cats, because we set up the trap at night, the food is in it, the cat goes in to get a meal, the trap closes, a blanket drops over them, they're transported somewhere they've never been before, and they come back and they're let out of the trap where they came from missing some parts. But they also are vaccinated for regular cat diseases, and they have a rabies vaccine on board too. So that's what we call trap, neuter, return. So they're caught in a trap, they're given a sterilization surgery, and they're put back where they came from. The reason we put them back and we don't just remove them is they're not generally suited to be pet cats because they're not socialized. So the idea in this is that a colony, a group of cats, is altered, lives their life, and eventually decreases the population in the area. So it's really the only humane solution to the population problem of community cats. So the old school method was trap and remove, and humane societies were often tasked with that, and that's not our mission. So we'll take in the kittens that we can socialize and place them, and we'll get them off the street, but we want to try to shut down that tidal wave of kittens that overwhelm shelters. The funds that we've currently put up from our grant and the city, we've got $5,000. That's about 100 cats, because the hard cost of the surgery for us is $50 per cat. And I'm really excited about this, particularly because some people, they may be caring for a colony that was 4 cats and now it's 16 cats, and they don't have $50 times 16 to be able to fund that, but they want to help. So that's where the city and Wenatchee Valley Humane Society are stepping in to help.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday. Boy, there is a lot to get to in our weather, not only today, but moving forward. And I'll tell you what, it started raining with a mix of snow in the Wenatchee area about 1:30 this afternoon. This is our monitor camera from about midday or so. And you can see just a few snowflakes falling, but this is what inundated the entire lower Wenatchee and upper Wenatchee Valley. Clouds and precipitation, and that is ahead of very strong winds that we expect to develop tonight. And we are talking winds here in the Wenatchee Valley, 45 to 50 miles an hour, 50 to 60 miles an hour winds are possible up around Chelan and Manson, strong around Moses Lake as well at 40 to 45 miles an hour tonight. We are talking blowing dust is also a possibility, especially for you folks along I-90 through Moses Lake. We're talking Ritzville over into Sprague. Local visibility less than a quarter of a mile. It'll be a lot worse than even that slide shows, and we're talking tonight through tomorrow morning. So if this wind keeps up, you could run into that as you make that morning commute if you are traveling east on I-90. And to top it all off, with the rain that we expect and the snow melt from the wind, which will warm us up a little bit, those rivers are rising. We talked earlier in the newscast about the Stehekin River almost already at bank full, and that is one of the rivers that the Weather Service is targeting not only into tonight but right through Friday and into this weekend. Widespread rain, and we are seeing that right now, and snow will cause all of our areas, streams and rivers, to rise over the next 4 or 5 days. So this atmospheric river is a strong one, not quite as strong as that one we had in December, but it's going to bring plenty of precipitation with it, along with feet of snow in the mountain passes. So as I mentioned, a lot to get to in weather. Today's high temperature, I'll tell you what, I think this is going to change. The high as we got this afternoon, 39 degrees. But when those winds pick up tonight, I think we could warm up as much as 10 degrees as we get into our evening hours. We'll have to wait and see. Our normal high temperature, 51 for this time of year. And what a beautiful day back in 2007, 72 degrees, our record high temperature. We were at 30 this morning, 33 is our normal low, and 18 our record low in that cold year of 2019. So far, at least at news time, 2/100ths of an inch of rain at Pangbourne Airport. That now gets us to 64/100ths of an inch. And that, folks, yeah, goes all the way back to January 1st. Sunrise this morning, 7:21, and it sets tonight at 7:01. All right, getting you into your Thursday forecast. Temperatures, it's hard to say if we warm up if they'll be warmer or not, but warmer than we saw this afternoon. 52 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 51 in Quincy. A little cooler back west, 49 for Ellensburg, 47 in Wenatchee and Eniat, and 46 the high temperature tomorrow in Kashmir. All right, let's get you to that surface loop, and a lot going on to talk about tonight. High wind warning in effect. It went into effect at 5 this afternoon. It will last until 11 tomorrow morning. Tonight we will see wind and a lot of precipitation around north central Washington. It will be mild with low temperatures around 40. That's why I have a feeling our highs are going to get into the 40s today. For Thursday, cloudy skies. There is that atmospheric river pointed right at Washington State. A 70% chance of rain with highs in the mid to upper 40s for your Thursday. And then for Friday, almost the same scenario. Cloudy. That atmospheric river continues into Washington. We will see a 70% chance of rain showers in the Wenatchee Valley. Slightly warmer on Friday with high temperatures near 50. And then as we get you into the weekend, mostly sunny. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with more breezy conditions to kick off our weekend. It will be a little cooler than normal with high temperatures Saturday in the mid 40s. Remember, 51 is our normal high. And then as we get you into the end of our forecast on Sunday, another area of rain moves in on us, especially into western Washington on Sunday. Cloudy, a 30% chance for mainly late afternoon, early showers, evening showers on Sunday. Highs in the mid 40s. And then I'm telling telling you, on Monday, cloudy. We will see breezy conditions, but check out this strong southwesterly flow. That is going to warm us up on Monday all the way up into the upper 50s as we start next week. And then for Tuesday, I'll tell you folks, what a day. Partly cloudy skies throughout north central Washington. Big ridge of high pressure over the Pacific Northwest. And we are talking high temperatures Tuesday in the mid-60s. All right, your 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Very mild with wind tonight, 39 degrees our overnight low. More wind on Thursday, more rain too, with a high of 47. A cloudy sky on Friday and a 70% chance of rain to end our work week in 49. And then a bit of a break from the wet weather as we get you into the weekend on Saturday. Mostly sunny and breezy with a high temperature of 46 degrees. And then on Sunday to end our weekend, cloudy skies, evening showers and 45. And folks, look what our temperatures do then on Monday and Tuesday. Breezy Monday and 58 with partly cloudy skies, and beautiful for Tuesday. High temperature then 65 degrees. And that's a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. The Seattle Kraken hanging on to an NHL playoff spot, but they're doing their best to blow it. Including last night, they lost to the Nashville Predators at home. The final there was 4-2 at Climate Pledge Arena for the Kraken. Their 5th loss in their last 7 games. They took an early 2-0 lead in the first period. That was promptly erased by 3 Predator goals in the second period.
Kakko stood up by Barron. To the slot, Berkeley Catton easily converged on. And now along the boards, Shane Wright will take over. Tough angle, patted down, they score! It's Kaapo Kakko on cue, on the doorstep, and the Kraken are off and running.
Kaapo does a good job making his way back to the net front. Shane Wright from a tough angle throws it down low off the pads, knowing you're not going to likely score from that angle, but you have a player going to the net front. That's Kakko. He's able to get the forehand on it, head up the whole way off the right pad, perfectly played.
A pinch down by Adam Larson. The big cat will take it back. Stick handle along for Vince Dunn. Here's McCann. This way, Beniers with a tough angle. He scores! So much for that. Not so tough. Matty Beniers with pinpoint accuracy. He'll scoop it out to center ice. It creates a foot race, and Perbix will get there ahead of Larson. Nashville restarts. Marshal in the skates, corralled by Svechkov. He'll dangle in, play it along, a shot and a goal. Tyson Jost unmarked on the far side. 15:46 left to go in the second period. Nashville cuts the lead in half. Moving in, it's taken down, and Shea is kissed hard by Jacob Melanson. Because of that, the Predators will get to it. Back out to center. LaRue over the line. Shea in the slot. Wood. They'll dangle out. Pass in front. They score. The former Seattle Thunderbird Reed Schaefer gets the goal, and the game is tied. Myers. The face-off possessed and back up. Upco holding onto it. He'll take it in. Right out in front. And he scores. Ryan Upco scores his first goal in the National Hockey League in brilliant fashion. A 3-2 lead.
Well, how about that for a first goal? First the move on Winterton, but then he pulls it to the inside and goes back to the forehand. See the skill inside out. Got to go out under control, pulls it through. A nice play there from O'Reilly to set the pick on Myers. Gets Joey moving to his right.
17 seconds left. Seattle down by 1. They have to get it up the ice quickly. It's read by Stamkos, flung by Stevenson, picked up by Haig. 6 seconds left. Stamkos hits the target and puts it away. 4.1 seconds left. Nashville with a 4-2 lead.
The Kraken were struggling to get the puck up the ice. Had to end up just flinging it up the boards, up the sideline. It ends up being caught. Pass up to Stamkos. He's not going to miss too many empty nets from that distance.
So Nashville coming west after losing Saturday in Buffalo. Got off to a slow start. The Kraken had control of this, lost it.
Next up for the Kraken, the team with the best record in the NHL. The Colorado Avalanche. They're going to have a tough time of it tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow at Climate Pledge Arena. You can watch that on King and on Kong. Seattle Mariners won for just the 5th time in Cactus League play yesterday. They got the better of the Royals, hung on for a 4-3 victory there. The story yesterday in spring training, the pitching of righty Cooper Criswell. He looked very good. He threw 3 1/3 innings. He gave up he didn't give up a single run, and he struck out 5. He gave up just 2 hits.
Cooper Criswell has really opened up an opportunity for himself with the way that he's pitched here in the first half of spring training. Strikeout for Cooper Criswell. And there goes the runner. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Rojas goes down swinging. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. Strikeout number 3. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss for strike 3. That's going to retire the side.
That pitch is swung on a miss. Another strikeout for Criswell. That's his 5th K. And his day has come to an end. He gets a nice ovation from the home crowd here in Peoria. With the team. That is swung on, drilled center field. It is back. It is off the wall. Wisdom is going to score easily from third. Montas into second, a ringing double blasted off the wall. It's 2-0 Mariners.
Man, that is great to see. We're waiting to see Montes' power during the spring, and to see him drive the ball the other way like that. He's a big, strong left-handed hitter off the fence in left center field. To get that kind of backspin, that's his best swing of the spring. And the left-hander is 0-2 to Packard, swinging a line drive into the gap. That's in there for a base hit. Rivas running second, heading for third. He is going to be waved in. Up with the ball is Rave. The long throw in is cut off. The relay to the plate, not in time, gets on by the catcher. Rivas will score. Packard will scamper along to third. Give Packard a double and a run batted in. He'll take third as the throw got on by the catcher Jensen, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Here's the pitch. Meisner cracks it high in the air, deep right field. Forget about it. A 3-run homer onto the berm in right. And this game is tied at 3. That was over the fence in a blink. First home run this spring for Cameron Meisner. A 433-foot home run that left the bat at 110 miles an hour.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, little parachute job, short right field. It's down. It's a base hit. Knight wants second. He rounds first. He's screaming into second. Head first slide. He's in there. Bill Knight scores Montes from third, and the Mariners have the lead. It's 4-3.
Hustle double by Bill Knight. Little looper down that right field line to drive in his second run of the game. Little guy has some speed.
Seattle hosted the Rockies earlier today at 1:10. That game not on TV, but I'll still do my best to get highlights for tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Took a long time for Gonzaga to get going, but they eventually did. The number 12 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs win the WCC tournament again. They beat Santa Clara last night. The final there was 79-68. Earlier today, for the Big Ten tournament, it was the Huskies and USC. They got going at 11:30 this morning on Peacock. I'll have highlights and scores tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Gonzaga men are going to the big dance. We knew that. So are the Gonzaga women. We knew that. But they're both tournament champions. Just like the men yesterday, the Gonzaga women won the West Coast Conference Tournament Championship. They did so by beating Oregon State by 10. The final there was 76-66. Believe it or not, the Wenatchee Wild are still alive for a playoff berth in the Western Hockey League, and they did the job last night. Very exciting game. 5-4 was the final over Red Deer, the Rebels, last night. Mason Kraft scored the first goal of the game. He scored the last goal of the game. This game saw 4 ties and 3 lead changes. The Wild played at 11 a.m. this morning in Edmonton against the Oil Kings. Again, that's I kid you not. They played this morning at 10 a.m. I'll have highlights and the results on tomorrow morning's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
And finally tonight, Thursday means a new edition of the Wenatchee World in your mailbox. Here's what to expect tomorrow from the Wenatchee Valley's local newspaper.
So for Thursday's paper, we have the Wenatchee Quinceañera Expo that happened last weekend, a little roundup. We'll have the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival Junior Court announcement. You'll have to see who won. That's 3 fifth graders. We'll also have an update on the Airlift Northwest Hangar project. That's $6.2 million. The port signed an agreement on Tuesday. Check those stories out and more at WenatcheeWorld.com.
And that will do it for this Wednesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.